Hi, Stampers. It's Lisa. Welcome to today's live. Happy Monday. Can you believe it? We are like way into October already. It's like the 6th of October, which means that Stampin' Up! Is having a sale again. They have lots of stuff on sale right now. There is the awesome starter kit deal, there is the clearance rack update, and now they put their kits on sale up to 30% off. So what a great time to like stock up on some things that can be used as gifts over the holidays or to just speed up your own little crafting. But today I'm going to be making this side accordion fold, and I'm using some new designer series paper that was in the new September to December mini catalog, and some new dies, and I'm just excited to show you how it's done. So let's get started. I want to say welcome back to those of you who joined my team once again. A couple of you took a super deal and got the $125 worth of product for $35 and became a part of Creative Royalty, which is exciting. We love to have you there. We have so much fun with our team meetings and just crafting together and enjoying an awesome discount. And that's like $90 in free product. That is like so exciting. So you can get in on that too. That's available just for the month of October. So make sure that you check in with me on that. We're going to be playing with the Wonderful Thoughts stamp set. This is one that has some actual dies that cut out the shapes, but we're going to be using the traditional labels dies. This is something that came with another stamp set. It's part of the holiday catalog once again, but because these are such basic shapes, they can be used on anything, and I'm excited to use them on today's card. So this is the fold we're doing. As I said, it's a side accordion fold. And so we're going to start out with a standard card base. Once again, so many of our fun folds just start out that way with a standard card base. Okay, and so this is 11 inches by 4 1/4. And, you know, our regular card base, we're scoring it at the 5 1/2, right? But for this one, we're going to score it at a couple more places. We're going to score at 1 3/8, 2 3/4, and 4 1/8. And then we're going to fold it mountain, valley, mountain, valley. So that's going to do this like squeeze box on the side of our card. And of course, because we're using score lines, we're going to pull out our bone folder and give that a press. That's going to make it just stay, you know, collapsed a whole lot better. Okay, to go inside in the back, I have this piece. Oh, we're using Cajun Craze, by the way. That's what this is. This piece here is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. That's going to give us a little skinny little border around there. So that can be optional. You can leave that off if you wish. And then we're going to layer over that a piece of the Autumn Toile designer series paper that is 4 by 5 1/4. So for those layers, it's going to be a little more what we're used to. We're going to have the pieces that are going to decorate here. So I have 4 pieces of early espresso, one for each of those. And these are 1 1/4 by 4 1/8. Again, there's 4 of those. And then over that is some designer series paper. Again, the Autumn Toile, 1 1/8 by 4. And I cut the pattern continuously. You don't have to. I do that because I'm weird. Then we have another piece of Cajun Craze that is going to be kind of a joy fold on top of our accordion. So it's going to go right in the middle. And this is 9 inches by 3 1/2, and we're scoring at 4 1/2. So going over that, I have some designer series paper. I have 2 pieces here that are, let's see, 4 1/4 by 3 1/4. And then the same size, I have a piece of Very Vanilla. We haven't used that in a while. Fall is a great time to pull out your Very Vanilla. And then this piece is just a strip of the Autumn Toile DSP that was left over that I'm going to use to accent on the end. And then we're going to use these labels. I have one cut out of Early Espresso and one out of Very Vanilla. And then we're going to cut out a second set of those using some scraps. So lots of little pieces, but you're going to be surprised how quick and easy this is all going to go together. Okay, I'm going to put this on my mini cut and emboss machine, and I'm going to lay on my oval and then this one. So I've got my 2 shapes that I can run through in one pass. I'm going to put my newest plate on the top and then feed that through. I always keep my newest plate on top. It helps with the warping. So I'm going to use a very used plate on the bottom and then a new one on the top. And then each time I run it through, I try to flip it side for side and move the die around on the plate so it's getting nice and even pressure. Okay. I don't know if you can see, but in these dies, there is some very fine lines here. And we're going to get some extra cuts out of these, which just makes them a little more decorative. So you can see here, especially this one has that cut around here. And then this one has a really skinny one around the edge. So they're just very delicate, very pretty. And they're going to be fun to use on our card. So obviously the first thing we're going to do is we're going to narrow down these pieces. There's way too many pieces right here to keep my head straight. So I'm going to start adhering them together and placing them on our card. That's going to clean up our desk space and get our card started. Because I've got a 1/8 of an inch border, I'm going to use some liquid glue so that I have that time to wiggle it around. Again, we don't need very much of it. I had an extra long weekend this weekend. I didn't expect to. My husband came home Thursday night and said the cabinet shop has, I don't know, fewer jobs and they're all getting cut back to 32 hours a week. So now he's working 4 days a week instead of 5. So hopefully that doesn't last long because that's going to like seriously interrupt my schedule over here. It's funny how I'm used to having my time to be down here in the office and working on the computer and prepping for my videos. Oh, awesome. Helene said the mailman just came and dropped off her new book. She got one of my Fun Fold tutorial books. I have 3 of them now that are full of patterns, and it keeps it in this nice little book, you know, that makes it easy to reference. And all of the patterns in here are not specific to any kind of bundle or designer series paper. They're just measurements and folds and diagrams, so you can use them with anything you have, which makes it nice and handy. I even reference it quite a bit myself when I'm, you know, trying to figure out what I haven't done in a while or what can I do that's quick and easy. It kind of takes some of the thinking out of it when I'm having some trouble with creativity, which, you know, every once in a while we all just get that creative block where we're like, oh, what do I want to work on? And that's when I will reference back to my books. It used to be just a stack of Post-it notes and scribble scratch that I can't even figure out what it is now. Every once in a while I pick up some piece of paper and there's like no name of the fold, no name of anything I used on it, and I just don't know what they are. So now with the book, it has a name and a diagram and pictures. Much easier. Did anybody do anything fun this weekend? Helene's also saying that Pennsylvania is having some problem with drought and the rain stocks are looking poor. That's too bad. There has been some talk of drought in our area too. It's kind of like they're giving updates on it, like where we stand at the moment based on rainfall. So I think the drought is something that's kind of widespread, which is not a good thing. Okay, I'm just, like I said, matching up my pattern. Now I can go ahead and glue it to my card. I hope you all seriously consider that Stampin' Up! Discount with the new starter deal that's going on. It's such a great deal. $90 in free product. That's just amazing. Oh, and I've started up my Facebook group for those of us that are those of you who are going to be joining us, Diane and I, for the Jolly Delivery. It's the North Pole Delivery Suite. We're going to be making Christmas cards out of that on November 1st. And the class is actually, it's free because all you have to do is buy the bundle through my online store, and that gains you free access to the class. And if you already have that bundle, then you just let me know and we order you something different of equal value. But the purchase is what gets you into the class for free. I'm just wiggling this around, trying to see that I'm flush up here, and then I'm going to trim this off. Okay, now on this, as I said, this is going to sandwich in the middle here, so it's going to hook right here, and it's going to hook right here. And so we need to decorate the front where our label is going to go, and so I'm going to do that with the more subtle of the two patterns. So I'm going to just put that on the front, remembering that it's going to have our fold line on the opposite side this time. So it's over here on the right. And then this side is where I'm going to place the greeting, or the area where you can write. And then we're going to have our labeled greeting on the other side. Oh, and then we have one on the inside too. Okay, so this one's going to go here. So on the back side. And then my third one is just going to go on the inside here, just because you can kind of see it from the front of the card. So I want that layer back there decorated. So we're going to put that right here before we adhere it to our card. Now, as I said, we're going to adhere this section right here, and then we're going to have this outer section, and I'm holding this up so it doesn't touch. Oh, underside, this side. Oh, this one's out. Yes. So this right here and right here are my sticky spots. And I want it to be centered kind of overall in this area. So I'm making it, you know, even top and bottom, side to side, and then laying that piece down. Then I'm going to fold in this side. Then I'm going to close this. Okay, and I started on the wrong side here, so I've got a little bit of adhesive that I'm going to remove with my adhesive remover. And there we go. Good as new. You would never know it was there. So look at that. We are like almost done with our card. Is that like amazing or what? It's just a lot of little pieces, but it's just decorating. So it's like nice and easy. Then, as I said, we're going to put a greeting on the outside. We're going to do thinking of you. And on the inside, you are much appreciated. So I'm going to use that Wonderful Thoughts stamp set. That's where I pulled those from. Because they're words, I always line them up on the grid paper, keeping them nice and straight. So my line is right under my words. And then I can set my block down on it, keeping things nice and straight. And then because I have a Cajun Craze base, I'm going to use Cajun Craze ink. Hi, Diane. Welcome. So she's watching from North Dakota. Watched your granddaughter play volleyball this weekend. That's fun. Is she nice and tall? My daughter is, she never played, she did. I take that back. She played volleyball in junior high, not in high school. But she's now almost 6 foot. Not me, I'm 5'7". My dad and my brother were 6'4", and my husband and my son are 6'2". And then Christy's about 6 foot. So I'm the short one in the family. Oh, and I put the wrong sentiment. Oh, okay. So we're going to flip that over and do the other side. I got to talking about my kids and totally lost track of where I was. Okay. Oh, that's the one that's out. So this one I'm going to center right in here. And it's small enough that I don't need to worry too much ensuring that it is behind here. But if I was worried about it, I always would center this over here and then close the card. And by doing that, regardless of what's on the front, putting it here and then closing with the adhesive, make sure it's hidden behind the panel. We did that on a card recently that the front panel was the same size as what's inside, and that was how I lined them up. Paper like this always helps too, because I've got 3 diamonds above, 3 diamonds below. It keeps us nice and centered. And then of course you could have, if you wanted to put this up on dimensionals, I believe this one is, yeah, this one's on dimensionals here. It is a little thicker on one side than the other, so it may take a little bit of extra postage because I don't think that's going to fit within their requirement for the Postal Service to keep it under the standard postage. So it's a little bit plus. But sometimes a plus card is what we're looking for. Sometimes we want it to be a little bit fancier. Okay, so that was today's card, and somewhere here on my desk is the one I'm doing on Monday. Oh, here we go. Or Thursday, sorry. It is Monday. Gosh, I'm losing track of time. Okay, Thursday, we're going back to Stamping Made Simple, and we're going to do this one right here, which is an emboss resist. And you're going, Lisa, that's not a beginner technique. Well, actually it is when we use this Irresistible Designs paper, because it's already heat embossed. It comes that way from Stampin' Up. And so all I did was cut it into strips and add the ink and then build our card. So this will be Thursday's card. And this was today's. Okay. So thank you to everyone who joined us. I'm so excited that you're here. I appreciate you tuning in with me and supporting me in my business, because that's why I'm here. I'm here to support you guys and teach you how to do fun, impressive folds that will wow all your friends and still be easy for you to do. So thank you so much for being here. Again, don't forget to contact me about that join special if you're interested at all there. I can answer any questions you have whatsoever. And then check out the kit sale and the clearance rack update, because they're out there on the website too. Thank you so much. Bye.